All right. Okay. Again, thanks for joining. Here I'm going to share my screen quickly with you, and we'll go through a little bit of a presentation that gives you kind of an overview of the program, a little bit more detail on some courses, and then we'll talk about registration and some other things that you may need to know. If you have any questions as we move along, please feel free to pop those in the chat. And then towards the end, we'll open up the session for any questions and answers that you may want to ask. And you'll just come off of mute and you'll ask those, and we'll do our best to answer anything that you have for us. So everyone at this point should be able to see my screen. You should be seeing a title screen that says Program Registration and Course Preview. Just give me a thumbs up in the reactions if you can see it so that I make sure everybody is seeing the same thing. Thank you. All right. So away we go then. As I said, today we're going to talk about our degree overview of our courses and how you prepare for registration, how you actually do that in Galaxy, a little bit about tuition, and then some resources that may be important. As I already said, I'm Michelle Bellamy, your program director. Marianne Lacko is your program specialist, and we are so pleased to be able to talk to you today about our program. We're glad you're here. Thank you for joining us. And please feel free to ask any questions as we move along. We want to do our best to answer those for you. So let's start off with just a brief degree plan overview. The ITM program has multiple modalities. I can't stress that enough. You can choose to be in person on campus, or you can choose online courses. All of our core courses are offered online, and many of our electives are also offered online. So if that is an important part of the program for you, know that you'll be able to complete your degree completely online if you need to. We do our best to make sure we offer all of our courses in different modalities so that you can choose the experience that best fits your schedule. The degree itself is a 36 credit hour STEM degree. 18 of those credit hours are core classes and 18 credit hours are electives. There are options available for dual degrees if you're interested in that. Say you want to do a double master's program, we do have the ability to offer that to you. We have so many electives that are part of our program, you can't complete them all in one degree. So there's no shortage of things that you can choose from. Either you're just interested in it or you're focused and you're wanting to pursue something in particular. All of our classes work to help you build relevant skills through hands-on application. So you're not going to have there'll be a very good balance of theoretical learning with hands-on application so that when you leave with this degree, you'll be confident that you can go put into practice those skills that you've learned to really solve business problems wherever you land. So here again, to break down a little bit and talk a little bit more about your core courses and your elective courses. The core courses, there are 3 courses that everyone needs to take. The first one being object-oriented programming in Python. The second one being one or the other of a database foundations or data management course, and then system analysis and project management. So though that is 9 of your 18 core credit hours. The other 9 come from what we call our business core courses. And as you can see, there is a long list there of areas. So the important thing to know here is that you have to pick one course from 3 different areas. And which the areas are up to you. So it's whatever sounds interesting to you. If you want to pick one statistics, one marketing, one healthcare, you can do that. The important thing is to just know that you need to pick one course from 3 different places. And then once you do that, you've met all your core requirements, and then you can start looking at electives. In our electives area, We have 7 different tracks or fields of study. Note these tracks are optional. You do not have to stay in one track. As a matter of fact, many of our students take electives from multiple different tracks. Many of our students also decide that they want to focus in one track. So maybe they're very interested in cybersecurity management. All of their electives come out of the cybersecurity management track. And as you'll see in a minute, we have multiple selections under each track, as well as multiple selections under each business core area. So again, there's no shortage of options and choices. That's actually one of the biggest benefits of our program is that you have so much choice and that you have so much flexibility so that you really can curate a personal experience through the program that aligns with what you're trying to achieve. So let's talk a little bit more in detail about those core courses because I quite often get questions on what's the difference of this core course from that core course and what is the purpose of the way the degree plan is structured. Well, the whole point is we want to combine your required core with your business core to create a strong foundation for you so that when you go and focus on these elective courses, you have built a comprehensive foundation of knowledge, both in technical proficiency as well as business acumen and practical application. So that's why we have you take these 3 technical core courses plus these 3 business core courses. It just creates that combined impact with a holistic education approach, a career readiness approach, and critical thinking and problem solving, which is a key component to be successful in the ITM space. So in looking at those 9 credit hours that we talked about, object-oriented programming, database foundations, and data management. We'll look at each one, and system analysis and project management. So these 2 here in the middle, the BUON 6320 and the MIS 6326, that's an either or. And so a lot of students ask, well, what's the difference between those 2? So we decided to talk you through that a little bit. And as a matter of fact, we're going to talk you through each one of those courses a little bit. We'll start with object-oriented programming in Python. For some students, this is a little scary. They're like, I've never coded before. How am I going to do in this class? Or I haven't really done anything in technology before. I'm pivoting from one industry to another to come into technology. So this is a little scary for me. No need to be scared. This assumes beginner level and lays the groundwork for advanced software development should you continue to pursue it. And everyone is able and capable to come into this class and learn how to program and be successful. So we are providing a comprehensive understanding of what object-oriented programming is from the ground up. So again, it assumes no programming knowledge. It moves a little bit faster because it is a graduate level course, but we start you from the beginning and we take you all the way through to the end. All right, and moving on to our database foundations for business analytics. We're really looking at SQL and NoSQL databases here and really trying to uh, build skills in query optimization and get you ready for advanced courses in data analytics or business intelligence. So for those of you that are interested in business analytics or AI or anything of that nature, this course would be a great option for you to take. And so you say, well, maybe I'm not interested in data analytics. Maybe I want to look more into data management. And so in this instance, we're really emphasizing that relational database theory and building your background for data management and database administration. So either one of these courses are going to set you up really well. A lot of students will ask us, well, which one should I take? And so I often steer students that are interested in business analytics or data analytics to take that previous BUON course. If that is not your area of interest, then take the data management course. But in either instance, both of the courses will serve you well and you can't make a bad decision. Here in just a second, we'll talk more about the differences. And then finally, we have our system analysis and project management core course. In this, we're really focusing on methodologies for analyzing business systems and how you can set up an efficient project and work through that from start to finish. And so this is really providing that foundation for your advanced project management classes and your consulting courses and things like that that you would take further in your electives. So here we are talking about which one of these do I take. So I know I got to take object-oriented programming. I know I need to take system analysis and design, but I'm still a little bit confused on whether I take database foundations or data management. So these two guys, again, are really, really similar. They both cover database-related topics and they both cover SQL. It's more about the tools that you learn that are really what is different. In the data management course, you're going to use more Microsoft Access and Oracle. In Foundations for Business Analytics, you're going to use more of those NoSQL databases like Mongo and Cassandra and things like that. So really, the difference is more about the tools that you're going to use and what you're interested in that you might pursue for your electives. But again, either way, you can't go wrong. So hopefully that helps clear up the differences between those two courses a little bit. But at the end of the day, when you complete those 9 hours of core courses, you're definitely going to polish up your technical skills, your analytical skills, and your project management skills, which are all essential for you to build that strong foundation that we talked about from the beginning. And then once you're done with those, then you get to move on to your business core courses. Again, you get to pick 3 from 3 different areas. And like we talked about at the beginning, the role of these business courses is to really build your business acumen so that you can use all of this wonderful technical knowledge and content expertise that you're gaining to solve business problems. And that's really what we do at the end of the day in the School of Management. One thing I wanted to point out here on your business core courses under the statistics area, there are 2 courses available. Both of them are statistic classes, but the advanced statistics class is OPRE 6359, and that is a required prerequisite for many of our business analytics and artificial intelligence courses. So I like to call that out and point that out to students because right now there's a lot of interest in that content area. And if you don't take this 6359, then you won't have met the prerequisite requirements for a lot of those elective classes. And I would hate for you to be in the position of not being able to take the electives you're interested in because you weren't able to take the prereq that you needed. So I just like to highlight that for everyone and make them aware that if these are courses you're interested in, then go ahead and take this as one of your business core requirements. All right, let's talk about electives. And then I'm about halfway done, and then we'll open it up to questions and answers. As I said, there's a slew of electives that we have available. We have over 60 courses available in those 7 different tracks, and we give you the flexibility to mix and match, as it were. A little bit more about our tracks. I know sometimes we see the name and we see a title, cloud computing, and we make some assumptions what that might be related to. So I thought it'd be helpful to just create this little chart and tell you more a little bit about what each of the tracks are designed to do. And what you might notice when you visit our webpage and you look at the curriculum, you might notice that the same class is listed in several different tracks. And that's okay. That's because some component of that elective meets the business intelligence or healthcare or cloud computing track. All we're doing with those tracks is to try to help you organize all of the electives we offer into similar content areas so that if you choose to focus, you can do so. But remember, those tracks are optional. At the end of the day, when you finish your 6 electives, the purposes that we're trying to fill is you essentially get to curate your experience through the program. You get to customize your schedule, customize your course selection. You get to specialize in an area that you're interested in. Our electives are designed to complement that strong foundation from the core classes that you took. And ultimately, at the end of the day, the whole point of this is to help you be more marketable and prepared for a career that aligns with your interests. All right. So I'm going to take a brief pause and I'm going to ask if there are any questions related to our courses before we move on to talking about preparing for registration and how we do that. If I can get back over to my Teams window, I'll stop sharing my screen and give you guys a quick second to answer or ask any questions that you might have about our courses so far. If you would like to ask over the call, you can certainly unmute your microphone and just ask out loud. We are a small group today, so we can have a conversation.
Hi, Michelle. This is Batul here. Yeah,
Hi,
thank you so much
Batul.
for this session. Yeah.
You bet.
So, yeah, I just wanted to ask that in terms of working after completing the degree, in terms of CPT and OPT as an international student, so do we need to work in the fields related to the three core courses, or will we be eligible to work in the fields related to the electives that we choose? For example, marketing or product management.
Yes, there's no restriction on what fields you're able to work in. As long as it's ITM related, then you will meet the CPT and OPT requirements, but there's a very separate process for that.
Okay, but then the main thing is there are no limitations when it would come to an internship or anything like that, right?
No, it
Okay.
just needs to be ITM related. So when we review your internship description or your job description, it needs to be related to the program.
Okay, got it. Actually, this question came because I attended the CPT workshop that happened recently for the F1 students, and there they said that the CPTs cannot be in any elective areas that you choose in the course, so that's why I was a little confused here.
They may have been talking about something in general,
Okay.
but in the ITM program, as long as it is ITM related, then you are okay. And all of that will
Okay.
be all of that will be assessed. Again, it is a very separate process. So when you receive an internship offer letter or a job offer letter, that goes through an approval process and everything is checked at that time.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. I see Christina has a question in the chat. If we choose a track, we can still take classes from the other track. That is correct. You absolutely can. We have students that mix and match across the tracks all the time.
Thank you.
You're
I had
welcome.
another question. So if we
Sure.
choose a track, would that be shown on the diploma? For example, like
No,
health?
it is not. It is not
Okay.
reflected on the diploma. But we do have, if you're interested in having some other credential that shows an area of focus, we have multiple graduate certificates available, which you can find online that are a subset of courses that are part of the degree. So more often than not, we have students that complete a graduate certificate program and complete their degree so that they graduate and leave with two credentials.
Okay, thank you. But if we choose a track, we can still put it on our resume, right? And then the employers.
Absolutely. Yes,
Mm,
absolutely.
okay, that's good. And then the employers will like see that, and that would add, I guess, quote unquote
Absolutely.
points
And
to.
yeah. And that's actually advice that I give students when they come in and they ask me to review their resume is say, we'll pick on cybersecurity. Say you finished the ITM degree, but you took all 6 of your electives in the cybersecurity track. Then you would say you have an ITM degree focusing on cybersecurity. That is absolutely the perfect way to reflect that on your resume.
Okay, that's awesome. Thank you so much. And I had another question, if that's okay.
Sure.
Yeah, so I'm currently in another state. I was wondering if I could start taking some classes at another state and then um, transfer or go in person once I'm done with the classes that I want to take that are only offered online.
So my first question is, are you an international student or are you a domestic student?
Domestic.
Then you can absolutely begin by taking online courses and then
Okay.
transfer and then move from where you're located to here and transition to in-person. We make no differentiation. So as a domestic student, you don't have any restrictions on that. You would just apply, and when you're admitted for your first semester, you would just enroll in online courses only.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And would like there be any like in-person requirements like orientation or
No, actually, as a matter of fact, our domestic orientation is a virtual event. So everyone joins that via Teams.
oh, okay, good to know. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Okay, well, if we have no additional questions on courses, then I'll go back to sharing my screen and we'll talk through the registration process. And then when I'm done with that piece of the presentation, we'll open the floor to any questions that you guys may have and we'll do our best to answer them all. So hopefully you are seeing my screen again, and I'll pull up my other window here. And so we'll talk a little bit about preparing for registration. Obviously, the most important thing that you should be very, very familiar with is the academic calendar for UTD. The website team does a really great job of making sure that the academic calendars are loaded for the current semester as well as the following 2 semesters. So I would suggest going and finding that and bookmarking it. None of the dates on the academic calendar are up for determination or exception. They are what they are. And the most important dates that you'll want to be aware of are, your first day of classes, your last day to register, any payment deadlines, add swap deadlines, and then your last day to drop. Those are the most important things that you can be aware of when preparing for registration. So you know how much time you have and when you can enroll and when you can drop if you need to. Once you're an admitted student and it comes time for you to register, you'll check your student portal, and in your student portal, you'll be given what is called an enrollment appointment. It's not an actual in-person appointment where you have to come and meet anyone. The verbiage is a little weird. It's just the day at which your registration opens for you. Obviously, the university gives a little bit earlier date to incoming seniors so that they can make sure that they get all the classes they need. And then usually it's a day or two delay, and then everyone else gets to register. So you'll want to make sure that you check for your enrollment date so that you know when you can go out to Galaxy and choose your classes. Just remember, it's not an actual in-person appointment where you need to meet somebody. The second most important thing in your student portal, if you have any holds, it's important that you clear those holds. Otherwise, you won't be able to add any classes to your schedule. And there are all kinds of different holds that could be on your account. And when you go and you look in your student portal, it'll tell you the hold, and then right next to the hold, it will tell you who is responsible for removing that hold for you. So for example, if you have a hold from admissions because you haven't turned in your meningitis vaccination, then I would have to go clear that with admissions. So it tells you the office that is responsible for helping you with the hold. An important note is that myself or Marianne can't help you remove academic holds, but we can help you get pointed in the right direction. So if you have a question on, I have this hold, where do I go? We can help point you where you need to go, but we can't actually remove them for you. Okay. So make sure you're paying attention to that. That is the number one question I get every semester when a student is having trouble with registration is, well, I can't register. I have this hold, but I don't know what to do. You have to check with the office that has the hold on your account to figure out how to get that hold removed. And so say you log in, you've got your enrollment date, you have no holds, you're ready to go. The next thing you'll want to do is use Coursebook to help you research your courses that you want to sign up for. Coursebook is open to anyone at any point in time. You do not have to have a login to go see the schedule of classes that are available. So you can go directly to the site and then you'll search for the semester that you're looking for and the courses that you're looking for, and you'll be presented with all the available sections. And so from that perspective, you can either write down the courses that you're interested in taking, or you can use any one of the resources that we have available for you to help you build your schedule. And then once you have all of the courses that you think you want to enroll in and have an option 2 or option 3 as well in mind, just in case a section is closed or doesn't have space, then you'll make sure that you update any degree plan tool that you're using to keep track of the courses you're taking. If you're a first-time student, I would suggest that you create some sort of tool for yourself. And if you can't create a tool for yourself, then we have ones that are available for you that we've made ourselves to help you through this process of understanding these are the classes I need to take, these are the classes I want to take, and where does that fit in my degree plan? So you plan your courses and select your courses. And at that point in time, you would move over to Galaxy and you would add your selections or swap your selections that you need to. And then you would put all of those things in there. Just remember that at the very end, there'll be a submit registration and a green check. And that is how we know that all of your classes are in there. The number one question I usually receive around registration is, what classes should I take? And that's kind of a difficult question to answer because everybody's interests are different, and because our degree is so flexible, there are so many different options to go through. So we have this rule of thumb that says each semester you should take one core course, one business core course, and one elective of your choice. That way you stay on track with completing your 9 core courses and your 6, I'm sorry, your 6 core courses and your 6 elective courses on time. So now you're ready to go. And you log on to Galaxy, you have your degree planning sheet in front of you, and you'll be adding those courses, you'll be swapping those courses, and you'll be perhaps even dropping some courses as you finalize your schedule. Some helpful reminders regarding the Galaxy system is, like I said, that Coursebook is really great when you're researching courses. Not only can you find the course sections and days and times they meet, but you can also find your syllabus there so that you can pre-read it and get an understanding of what is happening in the class. You'll find out your professor's name before classes even start. So if there's somebody that is teaching a course that is doing research in an area you're interested in, you might consider signing up for their class. When you use the swap function in Galaxy, it allows you to drop and add a course in one step, so you don't have to do 2 things. So that's a really helpful thing to know. And like I said, just putting the courses in your cart, so to speak, doesn't mean you are done registering. In order to make sure that you're done, you want to click, there's a link that says finish enrolling. You'll click that, and then you'll be prompted with a green check mark that says you have successfully registered. The reason I bring that up is just this past semester, we had a student that thought they had completed their registration because they had all of their courses in their cart, but they didn't actually click the finish enrolling. So they weren't enrolled in anything. And so lastly, after you successfully register, you want to make sure that your schedule of classes is actually what you meant to enroll in. Because we have so many classes and so many different sections, it's not unfeasible, I just made up a word, to think that you may have selected the wrong section, because sometimes you might miss, was that an 001 or was that an OW1? And you may have picked or selected the wrong section accidentally. So always verify your schedule and make sure it's the right set of classes that you actually wanted to enroll in. And then lastly, I often receive questions about tuition and how much is this going to cost? And that's a fair question. But we try to help you get headlights in advance, right? So there's a tuition estimator online that's actually pretty accurate within a few $100s. So you'll go through a sequence of drop-down menus and that you'll make the selections that are appropriate for you. And then once you hit submit, it'll give you an estimation of your tuition and fees, which is pretty accurate. But you can always reach out to the bursar's office if you feel like I need a little bit more detail, or I want to request any financial aid, or if you're looking for scholarships or anything like that. The bursar's office is really great. They do take some time to get back to you during high volume times, so be patient. Or you can use the tools online that they've given you and just know that it's going to be within a few $100s. Some other resources that you might be interested in, if you just are browsing the website or you're getting ready for registration and you have a question and you're not sure what to do, there is a question desk that is open 8 to 5:30 Monday through Friday. You just pop that question right in the chat box and they are really, really helpful and knowledgeable and they can answer your question almost right away. Other resources that may be important through the registration process are the Office of the Registrar, the Office of ISSO if you're an international student, and also our Career Management Center, just in case you have questions early on about your internship that you might be doing in the upcoming semesters. And then I just got one more slide. And I'll leave this up for just a quick minute while I conclude. You can scan both of those QRs and connect with us on LinkedIn through the main program page and our Student Leadership Council. Our Student Leadership Council is amazing and they are extremely helpful. If you're ever wanting a student's perspective on something, or you just want to talk to somebody that's in the program and what it's like day to day, then I really encourage you to connect with someone in our Student Leadership Council. They are amazing students and they're wonderfully helpful. If you have any questions or would like to follow up with us on anything that maybe we end the call today and you think, shoot, I should have asked that question when I was on the call. Well, you are more than welcome to email us directly and we will get back to you as soon as possible. So I'll leave that up for just another quick second while I come over here to the actual call. And we'll pop that information in the chat for you as well. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen now. So at this point, that's all I have to go over with you regarding our courses and the registration process. So I'll open it up for any other questions that you guys may have that we can assist you with today. Again, please feel free to come off of mute or pop that question right in the chat and we'll do our best to answer you. You guys are quiet.
I have some questions, but I also don't want to waste other people's time.
Feel free. Again, we're a small group. This time is for you. So we're happy to answer any questions we can.
Thank you. Yeah, so I'm still deciding between MBA or the ITM program. I do know that the MBA also they can also learn like tech and like coding and also take healthcare classes. Could you talk about a little bit about differences or yeah, what type of student should choose either or?
Well, I wouldn't say that I'm very knowledgeable on the MBA program, but I do know that our MBA program is #1 in the nation. So it's a very great program. The students love the online options, but we do have the option for a dual MBA and MS, and we have quite a few students that are doing that currently. I think the last time I checked, we had nearly 50 students that were doing both the MBA and the MS concurrently. So that option is available. If you just can't decide at the end of the day, you can always do a dual. So as far as differences are concerned, it really boils down to your preference and what you think your career goals are. I don't think you would go wrong with either of the degrees. So really it's a preference thing. I don't think one of them over the other is going to give you any difference in edge. It depends on what your career aspirations are. I know that's not as helpful of an answer as you wanted, but at the end of the day, it is your choice on what to pursue.
Yeah, it was helpful. Thank you. Yeah. Would you say that because technology is rising and like AI, um, that employers are appreciating the ITM degree more with the hard skills that we're learning?
Well, I don't necessarily, I can't say, I don't want to give you misinformation, and I don't have data that says employers are appreciating this degree more. I can tell you that 94% of our students that graduate with an ITM degree have a full-time job within 6 months. And I can tell you that it's lucrative salaries that they are earning. The MBA program has very similar statistics. So, but that is a statement of a student that has chosen to pursue an ITM degree and then moves to a career that is aligned with what they studied. So again, the answer to that question is yes, our students are wildly successful in both programs, but it's based upon their choices and their preferences and how they curated their experience in the program and the opportunities that they were presented with after they graduated. I can't give you a concrete answer on that.
Yeah, that makes sense. Thank you.
You bet. I'm looking over at the chat and I see a question on the GRE is optional and other universities have optional GRE. So on the GRE GMAT, you are not required to submit a GRE GMAT for admissions to the program, but you are required to submit a GRE for several of our scholarships. So you can get in, you can be admitted to the program without having that test, but if you're interested in applying for any scholarships, you do have to provide that. So you don't need it to be admitted, but you will need it for scholarships. All right. I think those were the only questions I saw in the chat. If you have any other questions to ask, now is your chance.
Yeah, hi. I had a very generic question again. I know it might be a little difficult for you to answer this, but I was wondering, like, as per your experience till now, students choosing a particular track, like six subjects from one particular elective, have been like better at their, I don't know, career, or choosing, one course from each elective makes more sense. Like, I was wondering, being jack of one and that kind of
Yeah.
scenario, which is better? Yeah.
Yeah, I get the question that you're asking. Again, it depends on what your aspirations are, right? If you're aspiring to be a CISO in a company, then it would be better for you to take all of your electives in the cybersecurity track, just so that you can have exposure to the depth and breadth of content that you might need to be aware of. That said, you're not going to be doing yourself a disservice by learning different things, because being a very focused subject matter expert has advantages, but knowing a little bit about several different things and more than a little bit really in the ITM degree, being a subject matter expert in several different fields is also very beneficial in leadership roles because you understand how all of these parts of an organization work together. So it comes down to a matter of preference on what it is that you think you want to pursue after you finish the degree. And there won't be an issue of oh, I can't go do this job because I didn't take that one elective. You'll have exposure to many different areas, many different content areas, many different skill sets, and you'll have that technical acumen to be successful in a variety of different roles. So really, at the end of the day, it's a what do you want to do? What do you see yourself doing? And how do I line up my courses and my experience in this program to best prepare me for that? I hope that helps a little bit.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Thank you for that. Yeah. One more thing. I was wondering, do we have the flexibility to choose more than 36 credits? If we want, for example, I'll tell you why I'm asking this. I'm planning for digital product management as my main track, but I do want to learn little things from cybersecurity or healthcare or things like that. So, can I
Mhm.
choose more than 36 credits in terms of electives?
So, again, my first question is, are you an international student or are you a domestic student?
Yes, yes, I'm an international student.
Okay, so the short answer is no.
Okay, got it.
Because there are visa requirements that are out of the university's control that actually you're prevented from delaying your graduation. So as an international student, I would encourage you to reach out to ISSO and talk to them. And their webpage does a really good job about listing out enrollment requirements for you and things of that nature. And I believe they actually have a section talking about delayed graduation. But in that instance, if you wanted to take an extra class or you wanted to do something additional, I would encourage you to reach out to them to ask them. So, you're not necessarily delaying your graduation if you take an extra class during a semester. So instead of taking the prescribed 9 credit hours, you decide you want to take 12 and you end up with 39 credit hours completed instead of 36. I think there is space for that, and as long as you're graduating on time. So I would again encourage you to reach out to them and ask them that kind of questions, because there are rules and regulations regarding enrollment for international students.
Okay, got it. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Any other questions, guys?
I had another question. So you said for the GRE, it's for scholarships. Is it
Mhm.
all scholarships that require the GRE or only some?
So JSOM offers 2 scholarships plus a slew of external scholarships. The 2 main scholarships we offer are the Dean's Excellence Scholarship and the Program Excellence Scholarship. The Dean's Excellence Scholarship requires the GRE. It's just easier for me to tell you you need a GRE for scholarships. The Program Excellence Scholarship does not require the GRE because that is a first-time student's application. The external scholarships, it depends on what their requirements are. I don't know those because those are not university bound. So you do need the GRE for the Dean's Scholarship.
Okay, thank you. And that one is the one that could offer the most?
Which one offers the most?
The dean?
Well, it depends. So you
Mhm.
can find the information on our scholarships on the JSOM scholarship website. And Marianne will pop that in the chat for you to be able to look at. But you can also just Google JSOM scholarships and it will be the first hit that pops up. The scholarship committee meets and they make an assessment and then they grant the award. So if you receive a scholarship, you'll see that on your offer letter.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
And I had another question, sorry.
It's okay. You're allowed to
Um,
ask questions.
thank you. For graduates, yeah, do they have like internship opportunities? And if so, are they mostly around the area like Dallas? Do most people stay in Dallas after graduating because the recruiters are around there?
So a large portion of our alumni actually work in the DFW area. I think the last statistic I saw was in the 80s. maybe 70s, 80% of our alumni work in the area. But we do have UTD alum all over the globe. In answer to your question, sorry, my brain was going a little faster than my mouth. In answer to your internship question, we don't actually offer you the internship opportunity. That is fully your responsibility. But we do give you lots of resources to help you find those. Our Career Management Center is amazing at helping you interface with our business partners that offer these internships. So we give you tons of resources and help. And say you get to the point where you haven't yet been able to secure an external internship, then we offer a variety of ways for you to meet that internship requirement and still finish your degree.
Okay, thank you. So because of that, as you've mentioned, 90 something percent of the people who graduate find a job within like 6 months. So most people don't really struggle with finding a job that they want.
That's not true. Just because the students find a job within 6 months doesn't mean it wasn't challenging and it wasn't a struggle and it wasn't a lot of hard work. It is all of those things. It is a very competitive market right now. And while our students enjoy lucrative careers and a really high return rate, that doesn't mean that you don't have to work hard for it and that it's easy.
Yeah, that's true. Thank you for that.
You bet. Okay. Let's see. I saw a question in the chat. I currently work in healthcare and did my Bachelor of Science in Health Management, Healthcare Systems. Are there any limitations? Thanks, Heather, for that question. This is actually a question I get more than you think. We have quite a few healthcare professionals that have pivoted from bachelor's in health science or health management and are coming over to the ITM degree. So I want to assure you that there are no limitations. We assume foundational knowledge and we build you from the ground up. And we have several students. The last I checked, we had about 67 students that had pivoted from some healthcare management undergraduate degree to this master's degree. So you'll have lots of company and peers that can help you through the program. It's actually a good thing, I think. Right now, EPIC is being taught in one of our classes. So lots of good technology in healthcare. Okay, guys, are there any other questions? I won't keep you if you're done with questions, but I certainly want to give you time to ask all of the things that you would like to discuss. You bet, Heather. Great question. Is there anything else that we can help you guys with today? All right. Well, again, I won't keep you. I know your time is very precious, so I will say thank you for joining us today. And please feel free to reach out to either Mary Ann or me if you have any